Mitch Evans and P.J. Mays joined now with Kaleena Coleman here on the Georgia Zone postgame show following a 73-61 Clayton State win over Francis Marion. Congratulations, Coach.
Thank you.
Beating the 15th ranked team in the nation, handing them their first loss.
Yeah.
How did you do it? What were the keys?
Oh my gosh, the keys were after playing a Atlanta team on Thursday, a one-day prep. Okay, the team was to sit down and guard the dribble drive because we knew they was going to be doing that, a lot of that, and guard the three. They had some players that was really good on the shooting the three, 15 and 1. So we was going to do that, defend, and we was going to try to take advantage of them in the inside. So it worked out for us.
Well, Coach, you know, you kind of alluded to about 2 or 3 things I want to touch on. I noticed you guys controlled tempo.
Yes.
You were able to keep them out of the lane, and
Yes.
you forced them off the arc.
Yes.
You know, and as I was telling during the broadcast, I said to Mitch, whoever did the scout did a phenomenal job because you were over here at one point in time kind of calling out their sets as to what they were going to do. And when they would run that pass it to the high post and they kind of run that guard around, you guys were shutting that down. So they couldn't get some of the stuff they wanted to do, and then you forced them into playing in the half court.
Yes.
They didn't get any run-outs, really.
Yes, that was all the credit goes to Coach Hall. She scouted Francis Marion while I worked on Lander, so all of it goes to her. And I mean, she had the plays and everything ready for us yesterday. So I'm glad our girls was focused and listening.
Right.
How surprised were you that they didn't try and get as aggressive as they did late earlier? Because we were talking about that fourth quarter, what was it, a 10-point game, and,
Yep.
and PJ kept talking about when it was 16, 17, I think you led us by as many as 19. They got to try and get it to single digits to start the fourth quarter, and they got it close. It was 10, but it just seemed like they didn't really push it until it was maybe a little bit too late.
Yeah. Well, we have someone in Kayla Price that I think is good with handling the ball and handling pressure. She knows how to, see the floor and get her little hesitation dribble. So we are real comfortable. I know she had one slip up where she passed the ball, had a turnover when she tried to pass it, and I'm always at her like, keep the ball in your hand. So I thought really that they was going to go into the press earlier and try to trap and get some turnovers, but we was prepared for it. We was ready for it. I mean, because I feel like Francis Marion this year is much better than they were last year, totally different team. So I told them I was happy. Either way I get it. It was good, ugly. I know it wasn't going to be perfect, but I wanted to win. So They got the win for me.
Well, you're making me feel like a rock star over here because about 3 or 4 things that you just said I touched on in the broadcast. One, let's start with Kayla Price. Kayla Price, for me, every single game that she's in, she's your unsung hero.
Exactly.
Because when I look at your guard play, Johnson brings you quickness. She brings you defense. She brings you athleticism. KJB, she brings you, I can attack the rim. I can score in transition. Tweety can shoot the 3. But you have one guard that controls the pace and the tempo of the game, and that's Kayla Price.
That's Kayla
day
Price,
in and day
all
out.
day. Exactly.
And I'll tell you what, she is like an old school vet the way she plays the game. She understands spacing and angles. She understands she's got that hesitation go move. And she understands when we need to settle down and score in half court versus try and push it. And I just love watching her play.
Kayla Price been here for 4 years, so she been on some experienced teams, some Elite 8 teams.
Right.
Freshman of the year. So she's seen it all. So we mold her well. I hate she's a senior this year, but I'm glad I got her. So, and she's my defensive stopper. So whatever I get out of her when she scores offensively, I'm happy.
And that's exactly what PJ was talking about in that game when I said she finally scored in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
She hit that the free throw. I think it was in the third quarter, but she hit that free throw, and that was her first and only point in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
I was like, and PJ said, no big deal that she's not scoring in the fourth quarter. She's going to control the pace.
She is.
I thought Tiara Johnson had a really good game for her because she did a lot everywhere in this game. And she skied a couple of times to bring down some pretty big rebounds in traffic.
I know. I'm glad you hit it because we just talked about that in the locker room. Like, Tiara, you have some good rebounds.
Right.
Little kid can jump. She's so athletic. But she didn't have a really good game against Lander. And after that game, I told her, okay, tonight wasn't your night. But I said tomorrow, but Saturday will be because we're going to need you Saturday even more.
Right.
So she just want to play.
Yeah.
Tiara just want to play.
And you know what? She's one of those players, you don't give her a position.
No.
She's just a basketball player.
Yeah.
You know, there were a couple times she scouted on those rebounds, and I said during the broadcast, I strained my calf muscle thinking about how high she was jumping. You know, that kind of took me back, Coach. I wanted to suit up for a quick second. But, you know, real
She's
quick,
an athlete.
with Kayla Price real fast, I said something to Mitch, and he laughed at me. I said, you know, Coach Coleman has all the horses, but you got to have a jockey.
Yeah.
And Kayla Price is the jockey.
Yeah. That's good. That's a good one.
You're gonna use that one, right?
I know. I am, but you're right. You're right. She keeps them together. She does. And, you know, I told them, I've alluded to it, but I haven't really announced it. I always tell them that we need a leader. We need a leader. We need captains. But every time I'm sitting, I'm always looking at her. Like we always put everything on her back, and I must say she's handling it well.
Right.
She's handling it real well. So I'm happy for her. She need a good year.
Well,
so
we'll let you go off until January 2nd on the road at Young Harris. So how you gonna keep everybody in line for the next little less than 2 weeks?
Oh my gosh! I told them just in the locker room, just be safe. Go to a high school gym, get some kind of running in. You know, so you won't come back too far out of shape, because I know they are. And we might have a little two-a-day practices, but we'll get them back there and get them ready by the 2nd. So I'm going to let them enjoy this break. They need it. They need it.
All right, Kaleena. Congratulations on a good win, and we'll see you at the new year. Have a happy and a healthy New Year and a Merry Christmas.
Same to you guys.
Thank
you.
All right.
Kaleena Coleman there with us after a 73-61 win for the women of Clayton State. Kaleena Coleman there with us on Georgia's own postgame show. All right, well, let's get things ready for this one now, PJ. We got the men coming up, and 7-2 for Francis Marion, 0-1 in the Peach Belt Conference, as they lost their game on Thursday as well, leading up to this one. And